So a big mistake that I see when people deadlift is the position of the hips before they actually pull. So pretty much how high the hips are before the bar leaves the ground. So it's either they're too low, which in most cases increases the time where the bar stays on the ground, or they're too high, which tends to place a lot more stress on the smaller muscles like the erectors. So I'm more specifically speaking here about conventional deadlift, because sumo deadlift is a whole completely different category. But the position of the hips themselves, it's always going to be 100% individual. Like some people are going to be stronger and move better when their hips are higher, and others when the hips are a little bit more lower. But it's really, really easy to kind of find out. So what you want to do is you want to try to find your strongest position while you're deadlifting. And the best way to kind of figure this one out is to look at a video of you deadlifting from directly on the side and kind of have a look at where you naturally move when you pull a near maximal load. So I'll show you a couple of videos now of what I kind of mean. So if we look here, I start with my hips in a very, very low position. And when I pull, my hips actually move up higher anyway. So we take a look at that one again. Just pause right here. My hips are in a near 90 position. So when I pull, I'm actually increasing the time that I'm pulling when the bar is actually on the ground. And when I start to pull the bar off the ground, my hips move up naturally anyway. So if this was a near maximal load, this will be what I would consider my personal strong position that I want to start to pull in anyway to save a little bit of time. So then what I can do now is I can actually mimic this position and start pulling with my hips a little bit higher. So see here, I have my hips already positioned in what I consider my own personal strong position. And if I keep them there, I actually minimize the time that the bar actually stays on the ground, giving myself a bit of a faster pull, especially off the ground. So for me personally, I'm stronger when my hips are a little bit below my shoulders, but also higher than what my knee height is. So I like a nice good angle on my torso before I actually pull. If I'm too low to the ground, my deadlift becomes very, very slow, and I end up putting my hips into the strongest position anyway. So I'm just kind of wasting time by pulling with my hips too low, and then my hips naturally move into that position anyway, and then the bar starts to move off the ground. Whereas if I lift when my hips are way too high, I just find that I'm so much more weaker. Like I feel so much more stress in my erectors, and then I tend to round, and I end up doing like a stiff-legged deadlift if I put my position like that. So a little bit halfway is optimal for me, but everyone's going to be 100% different. So what I recommend you doing is film as many sets as you possibly can from the direct side view of your deadlift. So, and the best indication that you're actually going to ever get is a lift that's near maximal, because that's always going to be, you're always going to end up moving into your natural strong position when it's a load that's relatively pretty hard to pull off the ground. You're just going to move into where your body thinks that it's strongest in. So if you can mimic this with more controlled work and your volume work and your rep work and your technique work and all that kind of stuff, it's pretty much a really massive recipe for maximal strength. So try to do that as much as you can, and then try and mimic it. Let me know in the comments below if this video is helpful, and if there's anything else that you guys kind of want to hear about later on. I'll kind of start doing a little bit more videos about some powerlifting stuff. So hit like if this helped you. Let me know how you go, or if you need a hand with finding your optimal position on your deadlift, and I'll see you in the next video.